Good evening. Today we are going to see the steps in staircase. So different steps which are used to design staircase, and whatever I have considered here so are relate with your dog-legged staircase. So now stairs are a series of steps properly arranged to connect different floors of a building. Components of staircase. So whatever vertical part we have of the step is known as rise. Whatever horizontal part we have, that is known as tread. Then we have this as landing. This slab, which is below steps, this is known as west slab. Then you can see we have this as a dog-leg stair. So this is rise, vertical portion. Horizontally you can have tread. This portion we have west slab, and this is your landing. This is typical details of a dog-legged staircase, where you have shown that is precast concrete slab we have over here, and these are the dimensions which are generally shown in your staircase. Guidelines for fixing the dimensions of different parts of the staircase. So we have part of staircase, residential building and public building. So riser we have for residential building 150 to 180 millimeter. For public building it is 120 millimeter to 150 millimeter. Treads for residential building 220 millimeter to 250 millimeters. And for public building 250 millimeter to 300 millimeter. Width of stairs for residential building 800 millimeter to 1000 millimeter. For public building 1800 millimeter to 2000 millimeters. Maximum number of steps in a flight less than or equal to 12. And tread plus 2 into rise should range between 500 to 650. These are the general guidelines which we can use to design a staircase. Pitch, that is angle of inclination of flight, is less than or equal to 38 degree. So that angle of inclination is known as pitch. Now type of staircases, we have first straight stair. So in this we have straight and therefore called as straight stair. Then dog-leg staircase, so you can see this. So we can have like this. So we will go up from this side. So we have up over here and then again up on this side. Then open well stair. So we are in this fashion. It may have 3 flights or it may have 2 flights. So likewise. And then we have different types actually. This comes for your architectural point of view. They are going to provide. So these are the different stairs which you can use. Then steps to be followed in design of staircase. First is effective span of the stair. Then second, we have trial depth of the west slab. If you will see, then we are in the same fashion that of your slabs, load calculations. Here, ongoing, we have to consider weight of step also. Then bending moment calculations. Check depth from bending moment calculations. Reinforcement, main and distribution. And check for shear. So now these are generally designed as simply supported. Now we can see we have this clause number 33. The effective span of stairs without stringer beams shall be taken as the following horizontal distances. Where supported at top and bottom risers by beams spanning parallel with the risers, the distance center to center of beams. Then B we have when spanning onto the edge of a landing slab which spans parallel with the risers. So this is important one. Try to understand this. Spanning onto the edge of the landing slab which spans parallel with the risers, then we have to go with this G plus X plus Y depending upon your distances of X and Y. Where the landing slab spans in the same direction as the stair, they shall be considered as acting together to form a single slab. And we have to take center to center distance of the supporting beams or walls. These clauses are explained below in detail. So this is first spanning horizontally. So we have this way. So each step we have to design separately, and depth of that step is taken as D equal to this D1 plus this D2. And then we are going to design this as a single step. You can see this, if steps are cast monolithic with the waist slab, then each step will be designed as rectangular beam with width B and depth of stair as D by 2. D we are going to get from this, and then we are going to be 1/2 B into D by 2. B we have under root of R square plus T square, that is this distance, this longitudinal distance we are. You can see this B is shown over here. Then we have stair slab spanning longitudinally. So we have seen this. Now, this is most important, stringer beam, the effect of stairs without stringer beams. Now, what is stringer beam? That we should know. You can see this. When we have this beam which is supported at center, or we may have at ends. And in that case, my stairs are supported by these beams. You can see here, you can see clearly, this is beam. So if you have this as a concrete, then you may design it as T-beam. So slab we are going to consider in this fashion. So likewise, we have these stringer beams which may be provided at center. Then stair slab spanning longitudinally. Then we have, when beams we have at stair, that is topmost of bottommost, then we have center to center distance, that will be effective span. If we have, now you can see this, my landing slab is supported in walls. So landing slab is in this way, and therefore what will happen in this case, my main reinforcement will be in this direction. So I have this as one base slab. Now we cannot go as this is smaller one, no, because this is supported on this side, and therefore bending moment we have along this, and therefore we have to provide reinforcement parallel to this side, and see how this will be as per IS code. So if we have X and Y both are less than 1, then we have G plus X plus Y. X and Y are half the width of landing. If I have X less than 1 meter, Y greater than or equal to 1 meter, then we have G plus X plus 1. Means if my Y or X is greater than 1, then I have to take it as 1. If it is less than 1, then we have to take as it is. Then X is greater than or equal to 1, Y less than 1, then G plus 1 plus Y. And if both are greater than 1, G plus 1 plus 1. So likewise, we have to consider effective span, and G we have, that is going. Then where the landing spans in the same direction, and we have beams that is at end of the landing, then we have center to center distance is between the beams, that will be my effective span. So now keep in mind, in this, whatever going we have to consider horizontal distance of the going. So here it is mentioned, the going being measured horizontally. Then we have second step, trial depth. So we know we have this clause, And in this, we are going to use only this clause, that is simply supported. We have stairs as simply supported. And therefore, we have span upon effective depth is 20 into modification factor for simply supported. Load calculations on west slab, we have self weight of west slab plus weight of steps plus floor finish. Now, self weight of west slab we have is calculated for the depth at right angles to the slope, because we know that depth, which is capital D. So now we have self weight of west slab 25 D1. Now D1 we have, that is vertical depth of the west slab. Now you can see this. We have this as a step TR. This is my value of phi. That is pitch. And then we have root of R square plus T square. We will get cos phi from this. You can have this diagram. So we have this as the depth, which is right angle to the going. And then we have this as D, this as D1. And then if you will see, then we have this as angle phi, which is pitch. This will be then phi. Then we are going to get cos phi, that is equal to D upon D1. We have to write down value in terms of D. So here I have mentioned 25 D1, and D1 we have this distance. Now how to calculate D1? Now we can have D1 is equal to D upon cos of phi, which I can write as D sec of phi. Now from this, if I will say that is cos of phi, then I have T upon root of R square plus T square. Now if I have to find sec phi, then this is root of R square plus T square upon T. And if I will put this sec phi as this value, then we are going to get a D1 that is equal to D into root of R square plus T square upon T. And then we have self weight of west slab in terms of capital D, that is depth at right angles to the slope. Then we have weight of step 25 into R by 2. Unit width will be considered. So 1/2 base into height. And 25 is unit weight of concrete. Then live load, and then total dead load. And then we will get dead load plus live load. Dead load we have self weight of slab, west slab plus weight of steps plus floor finish. And then we have live load, and ultimate load we have 1.5 into total load. On landing we have as it is self weight plus floor finish, and then self weight we have 25D plus floor finish. And then live load we have total dead load plus live. So this is as it is, whatever we have in case of slabs. Then we have design moments. So design moments for flight 1. Then as we have seen here, we have calculated loads. So for first flight, if you will see, then we have this will be my going, and we have only one landing, that is load on landing slab. So this is distance going, this is distance landing. And we have load on west slab, that is larger one because we have weight of steps, there is weight of step there. And load on landing, we have lesser because no steps are there. Then we have to find out point of zero shear force. We are interested with maximum bending moment. And therefore we will calculate point of zero shear force. And at that zero shear force, we will get maximum bending moment. Similarly, we can go for flight 2. Now for flight 2, we have landing on both sides. So we have landing on this side also. And then we have load on west slab, which is same in first and second flight. Load on landing also same, but we have two landings, that is at mid floor and that is at first floor. And then same way we have to find point of zero shear force, and then we have to calculate maximum bending moment. Then knowing this bending moment, we can go step 5, that is check depth from bending moment consideration. So as usual, we will go for D under root of mu upon Ru max into B, because this is also a slab, or this also designed as a slab, and therefore B we have 1000 again. And then weight of slab again 1 meter always. So Ru max we have calculated, and then from this we will get value of D. Now knowing D, we can have reinforcement in the same way. Main reinforcement, we have same formula, should be greater than AST minimum. And AST minimum, we have clause number 26.5.2.1. Then we have distribution reinforcement, which will be provided as minimum reinforcement. Then we have check for deflection. Then we have same way, we are going to find out modification factor, and from this we are going to say this value is less than 20 because we have simply supported. And then we have last step, check for shear. We have VUC is K tau C BD. Now K we can find from clause 40.2.1.1 where a table is given, and that K depends upon your thickness of the slab. Then we have percentage PT provided, percentage PT from AST provided, and then tau C from table 19. And then we will calculate VUC. My VUC greater than VU, then I need not require to go for any shear reinforcement. So likewise, we have different steps when we will talk about staircase. So this is all about your theory of staircase. One problem we will solve in next video. Thank you.